1. How gravity is generated from heat. To answer this question, we must understand how gravity works. In fact, gravity is generated by the coolness that results in a contraction in the size and distances that are within the material. The material is located in a three-dimensional place, and this place is affected by the temperature and in common law. For gases, we find that the greater the temperature of the gas, the greater the volume that permeates this substance, or the more three-dimensional distances that permeate the substance. So what happens when the body reaches any level of cold? Shrinks the place, and the material declines, and the material absorbs the place around it. And this gravity prevents the stars that form from the gases scattering in all directions, and this is what happens in the black hole specifically, where the density of the star increases. So the specific temperature increases, so that when the density increases for the material needs very high energy to raise the temperature of 1 degree, meaning that in the black hole, when its density increases, its temperature decreases, and when the temperature decreases, the heat shrinks the distance inside the black hole and absorbs the cold. The distance is outside the black hole, and this is because there can be no substance and nothing, as the substance must exist inside the distance is three-dimensional. So when the volume shrinks inside the black hole, the distance fades, and when the distance fades, it must be replaced by another distance, and this is the first rule. And this is because the distance is a tissue linked to each other. So what is the equation that describes the action of gravity that is generated from heat? And the equation is gravity. The rate of change of the body's electric charge is equal to the square of the temperature, that is gravity equals 2 charge square temperature. This equation, which I could deduce, talks about how gravity is generated electrically and thermally. For example, when the electric current passes into an electrical wire, we find that the temperature surrounding a substance or wire atoms is high, but there is a rule, which is that the temperature a relative concept. When the temperature of the surrounding field of the atom rises, then this means that the temperature of the nucleus is low in relation to the field of the surrounding circumference, that is, the nucleus represents the coolness, or gravity, and the distance represents the driving temperature or gravity that drives the electron to higher orbits because of the temperature that works to extend the distance. And from here we understand the cold represents the nucleus, that is gravity, and the heat represents the location, and from this we conclude that the greater the gravity, the lower the body temperature and the electric charge. An object that attracts objects such as the black hole and the nucleus, the more the electric charge increases with it, for the magnetism that works on the cohesion of the stars. From the mass is the result of the mass and density controlling the temperature. The more the black hole absorbs the stars, the more the black hole swallows the masses of the stars, the greater its mass and density, and therefore the lower the temperature of the black hole. And the black hole represents a giant cold mass,